Good morning. This is Cracker's Crazy Living. Today I'm going to show you how to do hazelnut chocolate chip scones that I make at Christmas time for my mother-in-law. She loves a hot cup of coffee and treat herself to a scone during the holiday season. And I found this recipe on Taste of Home years and years and years ago. And I've been making them ever since. And I only make them at Christmas time. Last year she didn't get them because last year at Christmas time I missed Christmas with my family because I was sick with the flu. So I didn't get to make anything. I'm in my brand new kitchen. As you know, Hurricane Ian took my apartment and my duplex completely out of commission, and that had to be rebuilt. My ceiling in my kitchen was falling down, and so they redid the ceiling. I've got new cabinets. I'm not really doing a kitchen reveal right now because everything is a mess. Everything is still piled up. I'm trying to unpack boxes and go through things, and I'm waiting to see if I'm going to have something special in this corner here that will help me stay nice and organized. So today, without further ado, I'm going to show you how to do these scones. I don't believe I've done this recipe on YouTube. So I hope everybody is having a good holiday season. We're going to get going on these scones. I'm going to wash my hands real quick. When my kitchen is completely finished and all organized, I will come back on and I will do a reveal, a kitchen reveal. I have had stuff stored everywhere. I mean, literally everywhere. We rented one of those pack rat pods, and I was very thankful that we were able to get one of those. Even though my insurance did not cover the cost of that, which I was trying to fight because I just didn't have an extra $600 to pay for it. But oh well, it was at a credit card and you have to pay it off, I guess. All right, so anyway, I'm going to get ready. This recipe makes 16 scones. I used to like to cut them out in a square and then cut the squares into triangles and make mini ones. But I don't think I'm going to do that. I don't have a lot of my tools. I'm going to use my hands to mix my scones because I usually use my food processor to break up my butter, but I don't have it right now. It's still packed, and so I'm just going to use my hands, go old-fashioned. That's what our grandmas and our great-grandmas did when they didn't have fancy machines. So that's what I'm going to do. And still get it done. All right. I need 4 cups of flour. I'm going to put my flour in my Tupperware container here. Got a brand new bag of flour. I got my flour at Publix, buy one get one, about a week ago, so it was a good sale. All right. I don't even have all my measuring cups together because they're scattered, so I tried to keep the ones I use mainly together. So I've got 3. 4 cups of all-purpose flour. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see I gotta see how hot I need my oven so I can get that preheated. Let's see what they say. At 425 for 15 to 18 minutes. 425 seems kind of hot. I couldn't even find my recipe. My recipe, I had to print this one off the internet again. But my recipe is in my big folder somewhere, and I went to try to see if I could locate it, and I don't know what box I put it in. Because it was so old that it had drips of coffee on it, and it had I had written things on there. I don't know if 425 was too hot because I don't remember doing it that hot for 15 minutes. Well, we'll do it and we'll see how they turn out. I know I had notes on my other recipe, so that's why I'm kind of skeptical. I need sugar. I had my bag of sugar here. I don't know where my container of sugar is. Whisk and egg yolk and creamer. Okay, I'm just trying to refresh my memory. I should know this recipe by heart, but I don't. It's a lot of stuff. 3 tablespoons of sugar. I'm going to enjoy my new kitchen because I've got so much, and these cabinets are basically the same kind of cabinets I had before. It's just that in each cabinet I have 4 shelves instead of 3. So I can actually store more than I could before, which I'm loving already. I don't know how to behave. 3 tablespoons of granulated sugar. 1, 2, 3. 4 teaspoons of baking powder. I have a brand new can of baking powder here. Brand new. 4 teaspoons of baking powder. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. 1/2 a teaspoon of salt. I think I'm going to like having my big table in here because it's a lot bigger than my other table, and it gives me more workspace, especially when I go to do my cakes and stuff. 1/2 a teaspoon of cream of tartar. Let's see, I know I have cream of tartar in here somewhere. Yep, right here. 1/2 a teaspoon cream of tartar. All right. Put that back. So we're gonna mix these ingredients together just to get them all mixed up together. And then I need 3/4 of a cup of cold butter. Okay, before I put my butter in, I have to mix up a separated egg and this calls for hazelnut non-dairy creamer, which makes it really good, and the chocolate chips, or you could use half and half, but since they're hazelnut, I get the hazelnut creamer. I had to get the zero sugar creamer because that's all I could get at the store. That's the only type that they had in the store. So I need 1 egg separated. So let me do that. Ah, shoot. I moved it because I thought I got a piece of shell in it. Now I got my part of my egg yolk on my recipe. All right, let me get a scraper to get this off with. Just slide it. The surface that I'm working on is clean. And it was the cutout to my sink. And I got a brand new sink. You know, they always have to cut out that piece. I think I got a piece of shell in here. There, got it. So I saved it to use as a work surface. It's the same as my countertop. It's got the Formica on it. But my husband says, well, just don't get it wet because these things are made out of particle board. And as soon as it gets wet, because it's raw on the edges, it'll just swell up and be a mess. So I'm thinking, well, okay, I'll cross that bridge when I get to it. But I thought it would be a really easy work surface for my table. So when I'm doing big jobs, making cookies or cutting out cookies or rolling pastry, it would be great for that. All right, so to my egg yolk, I need to add 1.5 cups of the creamer. So I'm going to get my other measuring cup. I'm going to get this one, and I'm going to measure my creamer. I'll just take leftover creamer to my daughters for Christmas or something. And now that my kitchen is all different right now, I have my trash is on the wrong side of my kitchen. So I used to go that way to the trash. Now I'm going the opposite direction. Which is kind of messing me up. So, okay, to my, I don't think you can even see that. To my cream, I'm going to add that egg yolk. And I'm going to take a fork and I'm just going to kind of mix this together. Break up that egg yolk. Oops, getting sloppy. And I'm going to set that aside. Okay, now I'm going to get my This actually calls for a spiced butter that you can make to spread on your scone. I've never made the spiced butter. She just likes them plain. I don't even know if I've ever drizzled frosting on them. I could put frosting on them. with a little bit of creamer. That'll give it some extra flavor. Okay, so 3/4 of a cup of cold butter. So that's a stick and a half. This is a half a cup, 1 stick. 2 sticks is 1 cup. So 1 stick is a half a cup. And then a half a stick is your 3/4. It's a half. Here's 3/4. Can't even see this. 4 tablespoons is a 1/4 cup. So yeah, so that'll be 3/4. And you could grate it if you wanted to, you know, get a hand grater and kind of grate this. I don't know where mine is. Let me see. Just found my stuff that had my gadgets in it. And here's all my spoons. That bucket. It's no fun when you got your kitchen in a sham because, oh, there's my grater right here. It's no fun when you got stuff in boxes everywhere because it's just a nightmare sometimes. I hate it. All right, so I'm going to grab my wrapper. This is just cold butter, it's not frozen. But if you grate it like this, it'll make it easier for you to mix it. It seems to be a pretty good hack. I saw somebody else do this with frozen butter, but this recipe only calls for cold butter, not frozen. So it grades up pretty easy. It's just softened. Got a busy cooking couple of days planned here. So that's why I'm kind of getting started today doing the scones. Supposed to make cinnamon rolls. I don't know how that's going to go. I might just get my kids cans of cinnamon rolls. I just don't know if I can get it all done. I don't even know where my recipe is, but I have everything saved. I do have a lot of recipes that I have gotten on Pinterest are saved in my folders. So I could probably find the recipe. I find recipes, I save them, and then I print them. And that goes in my folder, which I can't find right now. And, okay, just get all that scraped off. Okay. All right, now I'm going to mix all of this up. See, that just kind of helps your butter. Because when you do it in the food processor, you're putting your cold butter in there. And you're turning it into small pea-like consistency. Well, when you grate it, that's exactly what it's doing for you. It's just making it smaller. It's grating it up a little smaller, a little bit tighter. I'm just going to mix this together until like it's like course meal. Just going to make that step a little bit easier. Sure. Years ago, I was on a quest to make the perfect biscuit. My biscuits were horrible. And I'm like, why can't I make a good biscuit? I tried and I tried and I tried, and I don't know. I just couldn't make it just couldn't do it. I don't know why. So I found my mother-in-law said she liked scones and she would like scones for Christmas to have. So I got this scone recipe and I started making these scones, and I could make the scones perfectly. And I'm like, why can I make a scone and I can't make a biscuit? Because it's exactly the same technique. So then I found another biscuit recipe and I just did it and they came out perfect. And it was just weird that I could make a scone, but I couldn't make a biscuit. It's the same exact process. All right, so this is kind of like course meal. I don't feel the butter in there anymore. Kind of grinds up, I guess. I think I'm going to put just, it doesn't call for the cinnamon and stuff, but I think I'm going to put just a little bit of cinnamon and a little bit of nutmeg in my flour mixture. Just a little bit. So there again, I'm changing recipes because it doesn't call for that in the mix. It calls for that in the spiced butter. But I don't ever make the spiced butter. Alright, that's good. So I'm going to put just a sprinkling of cinnamon. Oh, that's brand new. Let me see if I have another one that's not open. Thinking why won't it come out? Because it's brand new. The lid's not even off of it yet. So yeah, just a light sprinkling of cinnamon. It didn't call for baking soda, right? It called for baking powder. Okay, put the baking soda away. I don't need it. And I'm going to do just a little bit of nutmeg. And if you've been following me very long, you know that I like to buy the nutmeg nut and take my microplane and grind it myself. It's just fresher, tastes better, takes very little time to do that. I can get these little bags. I get like 4 or 5 in a bag for $1. Okay, so now I'm going to make a well. Now I'll mix that all up real quick. I'm going to pour in my egg and cream. And I'm going to mix it, start mixing it. And you only want to mix it until it comes together. This is the part that I didn't do in the food processor anyway, because I tend to overmix it and it's super sticky. And it would be like batter instead of dough. Actually, you could do this step with your hands. I'm just making sure it's not going to be too sticky because I don't want to have to peel it off my hands. I do use more flour on my board when I go to mix the, when I go to take it out of my bowl to pat it out. Okay, now I got to add the chocolate chips. 1.5 cups of chocolate chips. I get these big bags of chocolate chips down at BJ's because it's easier. 1/2 cup, 1 cup, 1/2 cup. The big bags of chocolate chip just make life super easy. All right, now I'll take my hands and kind of fold in the chocolate chips. Still a little bit on the sticky side. That's okay. I'm going to be adding just a touch more flour to my board. And get it out of my bowl here. Okay, I didn't need brown sugar either. I thought I needed brown sugar. But the brown sugar I do believe is for... The brown sugar was for the spiced butter. That I didn't realize I don't make. Okay. Get this stuff out of my way. Where did my flour go? Oh, I moved it over here. All right. I'm gonna put flour out on my board here. Take this out of my bowl. I scrape out my bowl with my rubber spatula as much as I can. You can smell that hazelnut creamer. You can smell how good they are. It is. It's going to be really good. One year I wanted a little bit of extra hazelnut flavor, and I put some hazelnut extract in it. I really didn't care for that. It made it almost too much. There's other recipes out there that also tell you to actually put chopped hazelnuts in it. I don't do that either. This recipe does not call for that. I don't do that because my mother-in-law doesn't eat nuts. So just want to knead it a little bit. Just so it's not so sticky. And I've turned it over, and then the recipe says to roll it out. I don't. I just pat it out. Want it to be somewhat in a circle as you cut them. You can cut them into any shape you want. I usually do triangles. So just pat it out like you would a biscuit dough. I think that's going to be thick enough. I just try to make them a little even as I can. Move this out of the way. I'm going to get a sharp knife. And I'm going to get my pan. Move this out of the way. the crumbs off my pan. I got a clean pan. And I'm going to take a piece of parchment paper. That's not parchment, is it? I must have bought natural parchment paper. It's different than what I normally buy. Put this down. I'm going to cut this in half. Put some flour on my knife. And then I'm just going to cut triangles out. I haven't done it this way in a long time. I used to cut it like I would say I would cut it into a square, and then cut the squares into little triangles, little mini ones. This is just like cutting it into a piece of pie. That's a big scone. That's going to be huge. Trying to cut them skinny. Just trying to do it this way. I don't know where my spatulas are right now. I have to get them out. I have to find my spatulas. I'm sure I'll find them. And using this countertop makes it kind of nice too, because now I can just, yeah, these are going to be skinny ones. They're going to be a little bit skinny. Maybe these little skinny ones I'll put on a different pan, because I started out with those really big ones. Alright, so these are going to go in a 425 oven. I have to, I'm going to use the other half of that. I wonder if I can get any more on there. These two here are going to be huge. They're really big. I don't want to cut them like that. It just, I don't know. You want that traditional scone look, you know? I'll put another skinny one over here. Yeah, those are going to be massive. Those are going to be really big. So let me get a thing here. Get my pastry brush. Sometimes I will use, let me put some water in this, just a little bit of water. Just to kind of make it like an egg wash. You add a little water to it. Sometimes I will put coarse sugar on here, like raw sugar. I think I'm just going to sprinkle on regular sugar. I don't know. Let me look and see if I can find my sparkling sugar. If I can find my sparkling sugar, I'll use that. That'll make it look really pretty festive. So, you know, scones don't have to be perfect. They can be rough. They can be, you know, what we call rustic. Where did I put it? Salt. Pearls. Sparkly sugar. I redid my whole pantry as well, so now everything is in a different spot than it used to be, so I'm having a rough time locating things. I mean, I'll get used to it, of course. Just a little sparkly sugar. All right, these are going to go into 425 for 14 to 18 minutes. I always, as a rule, I start at 14 minutes and then I go up from there. I don't ever go higher. I just start at the minimum time it says. And then I go up from there. What you want is a golden brown on the bottom. I don't have my cookie cutters available. I'm just going to make them look a little rustic. You know, you can make them round, you can make them square, you can make them triangle. Recipe says to do it in a circle and make it into a triangle like a traditional scone. I have seen people make them round, like tea biscuits. The sparkling sugar will make them look pretty. It'll give them that little extra sweetness on the top. That's why I don't do frosting or anything, icing, because I put the sugar on it. I was wondering, why don't I ever put, make the spiced butter or make icing for them? It's because I put the sparkling sugar on it. All right, those are in the oven. I'm going to pause you and I'll be back when they're done to show you the finished product. I'll be right back. Okay, my timer just went off, so I'm going to take them out, take a look. We'll see what they look like. Look beautiful, actually. These big ones. I think just another minute or two. I'll go with 2 more minutes on that. They're just lightly golden brown, but I'm worried that those really big ones will be raw in the middle because they're not quite there. So we'll be right back. Okay, here we are. I put the other ones in the oven. So they did take 14, about almost 18 minutes for that batch, but only because I was worried about those really big ones that I had in there. So these smaller ones I'm setting at 14 minutes. So here they are. They don't look like, they're very lightly golden brown on the top. And they're brown, nice and brown on the bottom. Just like any pastry or pie dough, the more you handle it, the tougher it's going to be, your dough. Yep, see that's nice brown on the bottom. Yep. Yep, beautiful. They smell heavenly. Gosh, they smell good. Yeah, that one's done. They're nice and tender. My husband is one that doesn't care for scones. He likes biscuits, but he doesn't really care for the scones. And the scone is like a biscuit consistency. But when you eat it with a nice, hot, delicious cup of coffee, it's really good. I got hooked on scones. Believe it or not, I got hooked on scones when I would fly to my sister's house, when I would take vacations, and I'd go up to her house, and I would be at the airport so early, because they tell you to be there 2 hours ahead, and I would go to Starbucks, and I would get me whatever scone they had. It was usually the orange cranberry scone, and a cup of coffee, and I would go to my gate, and I would just sit there and have my coffee and my scone, and I would ask them to warm up the scone, and it was just delicious. It was just so good. And then I found this recipe and started making them. I haven't really done a lot of scones. Like, I've done cranberry orange. I did a peach pie scone, which was delicious with the fresh peaches I had. But I really haven't ventured out to any other type of scone. So anyway, so there they are. I should have measured the dough for you. If I had to guess, I would say that dough was about this, an inch to an inch and a half thick. Maybe a little more. They weren't too thick because see how they poof up when you bake it? They poof up really nice. See how they puff up like a biscuit? So, you don't want them too thick, and you don't want them too thin either. So here, we'll do a taste test on one of these. I think I can pick them up now where they're not extremely hot. So this really weird squirrely one just kind of fell apart, so. It was good. The hazelnut is just very light. You can tell it's there. How pretty they are with just, I don't know if you can see that shining. The sugar shining. They're very pretty. Let me see if you can see this one. Can you see how it shimmers? Shimmers in the light. That's good. Of course, they're especially good when they're warm. Very tender on the inside. I actually think grating the butter was better. That's really good. I have a cup of coffee right here. You could dip it in your coffee. The coffee's not hot anymore, but it doesn't matter. Chocolate chips. If you wanted to add chopped hazelnuts, you could. That'd give it a little extra texture. But like I say, my mother-in-law doesn't eat nuts, so. It turned out great. Once again, I like this big board because it's easy to clean. I can cut on it. I just stuck this hot pan on it. I really don't care about this. This was a scrap. I'll use it until it falls apart. I still think it's very handy to have on the table so I can use it as a work surface. So that's what I'm going to continue to do till I can't. because it's a large board. I could fit 2 pans on here side by side to let them cool down, and that's what I like. Okay, so thank you for joining me for Cracker's Crazy Living. If you like what you see and you have not yet subscribed to my page, please hit the subscribe button. Give me a thumbs up, like my page, and share me with your friends. I will post this complete recipe in the description box below. And have a wonderful Merry Christmas. Not sure if I'm going to come back and do another recipe before Christmas or not. But if I don't, have a wonderful Christmas with your family. Jesus is born, and we are thankful for that and for his life that he lived for us. Be safe. Have a great holiday, and I'll see you in the new year. Thanks for joining me today on Cracker's Crazy Living. See you next time. Bye.